Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Food School Smarter, Stronger, Leaner podcast on a mission to inspire a world where food makes us better. Today, guys, is another episode dedicated to our gut health. On Monday, we talked briefly about all the different aspects of our diet that can improve or that can worsen health of our gut bacteria, and all the different creatures that live there. Yesterday, we talked about resistant starch, what this substance, highly beneficial for our gut health substance, is, what it does, where to eat it from. So check back to that important episode that we did yesterday, listen to it and start eating more resistant starch rich foods, because that will take your gut health and your whole body health on a whole other level. So please check back to that. Today we're talking about healthy gut or gut healthy fats. And there are not so many of those fats, actually. We briefly talked about those fats, except for the one that we'll also add today on Monday. Today, we'll talk a little bit more details about those fats. And guys, certain fats can improve the quality of our gut microbiota, our gut health, and certain fats can decrease the amount of health and energy we have, not just in our gut, but also on whole body level. But it's actually pretty simple if you think about that. Anyhow, let's start with the first one. Olive oil, extra virgin non-refined olive oil. The better the quality, the more polyphenols or those plant antioxidants that oil has, the more kick or sting it has when you eat it. What I mean by that, when you eat extra virgin olive oil that is high in plant antioxidants, high in those polyphenols that are highly beneficial for our health and our gut microbiome, when you eat a teaspoon by itself, or maybe half a teaspoon, and you let it linger in your mouth for a bit, it has that peppery aftertaste. And sometimes it makes you cough, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't, depends, on your individual tolerance to those substances. Makes me cough all the time. So when there is a lot of that kick, that peppery aftertaste, it means that your olive oil is really good, fresh, and high in those plant antioxidants, polyphenols that seems to have those prebiotic properties, or basically properties of foods that feed our good, beneficial gut microbiome. So those compounds are present in extra virgin olive oil, and that's why we need to make it a point when we add any kinds of oils and fats into our diet to add extra virgin olive oil. And guys, again, remember that quality matters. Choose extra virgin non-refined with some certification. I usually use certification of origin, like there is this label that it means that they certified this bottle, that it comes from where it says it comes. So I use that, and then also there is some local certification. I probably always go for that. The next thing is, don't forget to get your olive oil either in a can, like I don't know if it's aluminum or something else, but it's metallic can, or really dark glass bottle, because light does destroy those antioxidants, and also what it does, it makes our oils go bad faster. Olive oil is very fragile, guys, so that is important. Don't forget to choose your olive oil properly, again, certified and in a dark bottle or in a can. And another thing is, don't cook too much with your olive oil. Overcooking even the best oils, first of all, it destroys a lot of polyphenols and all those beneficial compounds, and second of all, it can create carcinogenic and pro-inflammatory compounds. So never overcook with any oil or butter or whatever. But specifically for olive oil, you'll be killing most of, or at least huge part of its benefits. What I usually do, I cook my food with some water, no fat or oils at all, and then at the end of my cooking, I take it off the stove, whatever I was cooking, or out of the oven, and I pour a couple of tablespoons of olive oil on top of that, and then I mix it, and that's it. It still gives it that additional, I don't know, beautiful, that rich flavor, but it doesn't destroy a lot of things in your oil. So that's how we keep it healthy, but also enjoy our delicious meals with olive oil, and of course use it for salads. So olive oil, polyphenols seem to have, again, prebiotic properties and seem to influence our gut microbiome in a very positive way. So, and it also is high in monounsaturated fat that is proven to be one of the best fats to get energy from when it comes to our human digestion. So our bodies loves extra virgin olive oil and monounsaturated fats that are in high amount present in extra virgin olive oil. So that's a great energy producing and gut healing oil. Another one, coconut oil, extra virgin or virgin or non-refined. The main point is to find the best quality. If it's cold pressed, it's cold pressed, but make sure that it is non-refined. Otherwise, a lot of properties that I'm talking about today are going to be destroyed, and it might be more pro-inflammatory when it is refined because of different processes that it undergoes. So non-refined coconut oil, and you usually will see the huge difference in price, twice or three times the amount if the oil was refined or non-refined and cold pressed. So coconut oil, it is different. It is saturated fat. It probably has some unsaturated fats like any other oil or butter, but mostly it's saturated fat. And it has antimicrobial, antiviral, antifungal properties, and also helps to balance acidity in our digestive tract. So coconut oil plus, of course, it gives a lot of energy. It also burns really bright when it comes to energy producing in our cells and in our digestive system. So coconut oil, it helps to nourish good bugs and help to get rid of bad bugs. Again, it has antiviral, antimicrobial, fungal properties, and it helps to balance the acidity of our digestive system, and again gives us a lot of energy. Some people say, it's totally fine cooking or at high temperatures with coconut oil. I don't like to cook at high temperatures anything with any oil, and I don't recommend you to do so, to preserve, again, maximum of beneficial compounds in any of your food you're eating, vegetables, meats, or your oils and fats. What I usually do with coconut oil, I'm a little bit more free, like I use it a little bit more freely than olive oil. So I don't add it at the end of my cooking when everything is done, but somewhere like closer to the end, maybe like 5 minutes before, so it has the time to melt completely and absorb flavors of my food. But I don't know, that's just my personal preference, no really scientific data behind it. So coconut oil, again, add it to your foods, maybe to your baking recipes, eat it, put it in your coffee. I like to do that sometimes. Eat it by the spoon at just different plant-based desserts. Another thing, guys, that I wanted to mention, of course, don't forget to make sure that it's non-refined, it's cold pressed, virgin or extra virgin. There is no specific label that is assigned to coconut oil when it comes to quality. Just make sure it's not refined. And also it's okay to get it in a transparent bottle because it's a saturated fat, it's a stable fat. It does not damage that much at all, if any, by light or warm temperature. You can actually store it at room temperature. Olive oil you can also store at room temperature, but coconut oil, the difference is you can put it somewhere outside exposed to light, whereas olive oil you always need to keep out of light without too many temperature changes. Although if it comes in a non-transparent bottle, then light doesn't really matter that much. But anyhow, guys, coconut oil, another beneficial oil for our gut. The next one, comes from foods mostly. Omega-3 fatty acids, specifically marine omega-3 fatty acids, even though all omega-3 fatty acids seem to be anti-inflammatory, omega-3 fatty acids coming from fish have a lot of other properties beneficial to our brain, cellular, and gut function. So omega-3 fatty acids, some people say that they take fish oil, but guys, supplements are never the same as the whole package. It just never is. And so I recommend you to include in your menu things like salmon. Wild salmon has more omega-3 fatty acids and has also more antioxidants, actually. So salmon, but then also things like sardines. I absolutely love sardines. Herring is even higher in omega-3s than salmon. Anchovies, shellfish would be more or less rich in omega-3s, like mussels. Oysters are quite high in omega-3s. Sea snails are quite high in omega-3s. And again, tuna would have some, but the tuna has to be really fatty, and not all of the tuna will have omega-3s in any amount. But herring, sardines, salmon, anchovies, some mussels have some, oysters, sea snails, they have a lot of omega-3s, guys. And omega-3s are great because they are anti-inflammatory and they reduce inflammation in our gut too. And so if you're having a lot of gut issues, maybe sensitivities, maybe leaky gut, maybe there is some inflammation, and that, and maybe you did some testing, and so there is some inflammation going on in your gut. So those fats will help to reduce that inflammation and will help with healing of your gut. So omega-3 fatty acids in a form of fatty fish, or maybe caviar, guys. Caviar and fish roe has a lot of omega-3s too, like skyrocketing amount of omega-3s. And I forgot my favorite food, cod liver. I love to buy my cod liver in a can. Cod liver oil, of course, is an amazing source of omega-3s too, but I love also cod liver on some flaxseed cracker or vegetable cracker. That is so delightful. Plus, super rich in vitamin A and D, like super rich. A couple of ounces of cod liver is like 7 to 10 day supply of vitamin D, and I think like 3 week supply of vitamin A, depending on the species and how your specific cod liver is made. The best one is an Icelandic cod liver that I can find in most places, usually in gourmet sections of your supermarket. Just a little bit of detail about my favorite omega-3, vitamin A and D food, cod liver. And so we talked about olive oil, coconut oil, and omega-3 fatty acids, like they're best coming from fish, if not from fish, but from fish oil or algae oil. That makes sure that you are getting good quality supplement, and that is not full of additives like a lot of algae oils would have, a lot of different things added to them. Not so much fish oil, but that fish oil can go rancid and can go bad and might not be as cleanly produced. So that's why also food is always better. And the last but not least is butter, real butter. And there is a lot of fake stuff out there, guys. In Russia, for example, where I am right now, they don't even need to specify whether they add vegetable oils like sunflower oil into the mix. So sunflower oil and other vegetable oils like canola oil, cottonseed oil, they're much cheaper than real butter. And so for a big factory, it means a lot of profit. So they would add that oil to create more of butter that is not actual butter. So just do a little research of the butter brand that you are buying, and usually real butters would be a little bit higher in price, at least compared to the cheaper alternatives. So real butter, that's the thing. And it has those compounds, butyrate, this one compound, that our gut bacteria actually creates by itself when it eats prebiotic fiber or resistant starch. That is a kind of prebiotic fiber too. So our gut bugs ferment fibers that our digestive system cannot digest. They ferment those fibers in foods that we talked about yesterday and going to talk more about tomorrow, about prebiotic foods. So our gut bacteria ferment that and create butyrate, that short chain fatty acids that, first of all, it's a fuel for those good beneficial gut bacteria. It also helps our gut bacteria to heal the gut. So it's a main energy source for the cells that line our gut. And so if you are experiencing leaky gut symptoms, or you are proven to have it, or a lot of other distresses or autoimmune conditions or sensitivities happening in your gut, so butter, real butter, might actually help with that, because again, it is similar to butyrate that is produced by our bacteria. But also some of the scientists, they have doubts because they can't really prove it or test it yet. Some scientists have doubts that that butter is that we eat with our foods, it can actually be absorbed, digested in our stomach and be digested before it reaches our large intestine and all of the other bacteria to actually feed them and to help with gut healing. That's why, it's probably good to have some butter. It's probably good to have it with some vegetables, with those prebiotic fibers, with that resistant starch. Not a lot, because as we learned, for example, when it comes to resistant starch, mixing it with a lot of butter might not be the best idea for food combining, but that's for another day. Just remember, guys, that natural, not fake butter, it can be also really good for your gut bacteria. So another fat, or at least it's going to be neutral. So don't listen to people who say that it's saturated fat and it's bad for you. But, it's like one of those things that some dietitians or nutritionists, they say fruit is toxic because it is metabolized by our liver, like all the toxins. But although it sounds kind of like meaningful when they say it, but it's actually meaningless. Just because it is metabolized by our liver, just like a lot of our fats, doesn't mean it is a toxin. The same goes for saturated fats. Just because it is saturated, it just means it's a different kind of fat that our bodies also produce, not from our foods, but by themselves. So guys, saturated fats, just go for real butter. Don't overdo it, but don't shy away from it either. And then now for the bad oils, bad fats, bad guys that seem to increase inflammation a lot and decrease the amount of health and energy we have on so many levels. They are embedded in the cellular structure, cellular membranes, and they make worse our cellular communication. Also, they disrupt a lot of hormonal functions. So what are those fats? Those fats are industrial fats that didn't evolve to be with us, with human beings. They are unnaturally created. Sunflower seeds or sunflower oil, canola oil, cottonseed oil, all these yellow liquid oils in transparent bottles on the shelves of the supermarkets, they were created in a factory through refining process at high temperatures, through bleaching and a lot of other different processes that completely change the structure of those fats, that make them unrecognizable and unusable for our human body. Our human body, the only thing it can do is store it, or it will put it in our cell membranes, but that proven to be really non-beneficial. They increase inflammation, they disrupt our hormonal functions, and of course they negatively affect our digestive tract, our gut microbiota, through increasing inflammation and a lot of other processes that we only now start to uncover. So again, all this yellow liquid stuff in transparent bottles, it's not good for you. all the fake butters, spreads, margarines made with those oils, or a lot of different stuff that looks like butter but is not butter. It's not good for you guys. So stay with those oils and fats: extra virgin olive oil, non-refined coconut oil, omega-3 fatty acids from foods, butter, real butter. And that's what's gonna heal and nourish your gut, and stay away from all the other stuff. Now, some seed oils, extra virgin coming in dark bottles, might be okay for salads, but almost none of them are okay for any kind of temperature cooking, and definitely not okay to be stored in transparent bottles and on the shelves of the supermarket for like months and months. So extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, non-refined, omega-3 fatty acids from fatty fish, real butter, and ghee, by the way, also. Those are the fats that will help you to nourish your gut. So eat more of them. Do less if you don't want to eat too many added fats, but stay away from all the other stuff. That's it for today, guys. Don't forget to share this episode with someone else who loves to have some fats added to their foods to make it more delicious and nourishing for our gut, who might not be doing it right. Share this episode with one other person who might be equally excited about hearing this information and using it. Learn together. Spread this information so together we change our food system by smarter demand much, much better. So learn, share, eat more of olive oil, coconut oil, omega-3 fatty acids, and butter. Forget about all the fake stuff. And guys, as usual, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Until next time, eat better daily.